Hello and welcome back to Newsroom Nigeria. This is where we give you hot, fresh, and sizzling news all day long. If this is your first time here, you have not subscribed to this channel, what are you doing? Please go ahead and subscribe. The button is free of charge. Also, give this video a massive thumbs up. That way, YouTube is able to recommend this video to other YouTube viewers all around the world. Lastly, please leave your opinions in the comments section below as well. Senate Minority Leader Maba Moro has appealed for a reduction in the proposed suspension of Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan from 6 months to 3 months. Newsroom Nigeria reports that this is following the presentation of recommendations by Senator Neda Imasuen, Labour Party Edo South, chairman of the Senate Committee on Ethics, Code of Conduct and Public Petitions. Speaking during plenary on Thursday, Moro acknowledged that Akpoti-Uduaghan had violated Senate rules, but urged his colleagues to temper justice with mercy. Earlier, Senator Umar Swen described Akpoti-Uduaghan's allegations against Senate President Godswill Akpabio as frivolous, dismissing her claims that she was being silenced in the chamber. Key recommendations from the Senate Committee, that is on ethics. 1. A 6-month suspension from all legislative activities effective March 6, 2025. Immediate surrender of all Senate properties in our possession. A ban from the legislative chamber throughout the suspension period. This development follows a heated confrontation in the Senate last Thursday when Akpoti-Uduaghan protested the reassignment of her seat by Akpabio. Upon arrival at the session, she discovered that her nameplate had been removed and her seat reassigned, leading her to demand an explanation for what she perceived as an unjustified move. In the same vein, Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, representing Kogi Central, has resubmitted a sexual harassment petition against Senate President Godswill Akpabio, even as the Senate Ethics Committee recommended a 6-month suspension for her. During plenary on Thursday, March 6, 2025, Akpoti-Uduaghan represented the petition on behalf of her constituency, led by Zubaru Yakubu. Following a submission, Senate President Akpabio questioned whether there were any legal obstacles to accepting the petition. In response, Akpoti-Uduaghan asserted there were none. At 12:38 p.m., Akpabio instructed her to formally lay the petition before the Senate. The matter was then referred to the Senate Committee on Ethics, Code of Conduct and Public Petitions, led by Senator Neda Imasuen, Labour Party Edo South, with a directive to report back within 4 weeks. This move follows a similar petition submitted by Akpoti-Uduaghan the previous day, which was dismissed after Senate Chief Whip Mohammed Monguno, APC Borno North, cited Senate Standing Order 40, arguing that the matter was subjudiced due to an ongoing court case involving Akpoti-Uduaghan and Ekaiti Akpabio, the wife of the Senate President. Monguno also contended that the petition could not be considered since Akpoti-Uduaghan had personally signed it, leading the Ethics Committee to declare it dead on arrival. Meanwhile, the Senate Ethics Committee has recommended a 6-month suspension for Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan effective from March 6, 2025. According to committee chairman Senator Neda Imasuen, the suspension includes the closure of her office, denial of access to the National Assembly premises, and the withdrawal of her salaries and those of her legislative aides. The committee also recommended barring her from representing Nigeria in any official capacity during the suspension. However, it suggested that she may submit a written apology for the Senate to review her suspension. The Senate is set to vote on the recommendation, and if upheld, Akpoti-Uduaghan will be stripped of all legislative privileges for the duration of her suspension. The Senate also advised Akpoti-Uduaghan to respect and obey legislative rules. Relying on Order 55, subsection 1, Chief Whip Mohammed Monguno criticized her for allegedly disregarding Senate protocol by refusing to stand when Akpabio entered the chamber on Wednesday and Thursday. It is the rules and the order of the Senate that when the Senate President is ushered into the chamber by the Sergeant at Arms, all senators must stand up, Monguno said. He urged Akpoti-Uduaghan to abide by the rules, insisting that the institution must be protected at all costs. The latest developments add to the ongoing tension between Akpoti-Uduaghan and Senate President Akpoti-Uduaghan. You all, let's have your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. But before we go, let's take a look at some of the reactions we got online. Abdurrahim Nasiru says, Gangster senators, shameless elements at the helm of affair of the Hallowed Chamber. Rotimi Raji says, everything about the lawmakers are just so annoying. You all, like I said, let's have your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. I still have more comments for us to go through. Mohammed says, Natasha must not plead for any leniency. For what? When biased senators put together by Sinin Akpoti under the guise of ethics, nonsense, pronounced her guilty before even listening to her petition. The penalty is premeditated to further intimidate Natasha and protect Akpoti. Very disgusting Senate, as these lawmakers or a shameless budget padding clique of a corrupt, egot Akpoti. The hypocrites PDP in the Senate couldn't even mute a word in this saga. She should call their bluff. Suzanne Joro says, tomorrow will be Moro's turn to be accused of sexual harassment by Natasha. So most people now think that Natasha is just randomly accusing men of sexually harassing her. Anyway, Abu says, just listen to the conspiracy of these ungodly monsters. See your lawmakers openly protecting the sinful Akpoti and penalizing the oppressed. So no morally upright senators in this nation again, because Natasha raised an accusing finger against Lord Akpoti due to his grave sins. He has not cleared himself of. His sinless comrade in corruption went ahead to slam Natasha with the gravest penalty of 6 months suspension. Abba, what a big shame indeed. Whether Nigeria rubber stamp Senate. Uchenna says, I suggest that Natasha Akpoti should go for a 3-month suspension so it will serve her as a warning. Maybe she can learn how to manage a situation. Natasha Akpoti should go for 3-month suspension, not 6 months. Okay, you are recommending 3 months and the Senate has recommended 6 months. What should we do now? Maybe I should send your comments to them so they can see it. Maybe they might reconsider. Darius says, it is very clear that the woman was sponsored, coupled with the fact that she has always had a record of accusing influential men of sexual harassment, made me have no sympathy for her. Is she the only woman in town? I don't understand why people are thinking that she's just randomly accusing people of sexually harassing her. I don't get that part, because a woman, it is possible for a woman to be sexually harassed by multiple men, not at the same time though, but multiple men. It is very possible. It is very possible for a woman to be harassed sexually by multiple men. I don't know why it's so hard for people to understand this fact. She's not saying that it all happened on the same day. She's not saying that it all happened in the same week. She's not saying it all happened in the same month. I don't know why people are finding it hard to wrap their head around it. And also the fact that this person said she's been sponsored. Sponsored by who? I just hope that she has receipts, because in this kind of situation, it's your evidence that will speak for you. Just make sure you have evidence to back up everything you're saying, because if you're not, it's just your word against the other person. They would deny. People would deny. For example, Akpoti, his position is at stake. His Senate presidency seat is at stake. So of course it's going to lie. It's just your word against him. I just wish that we can, see a recording. We can see text messages to that effect. Niyo Joe says, the picture of her husband accompanying her to the Senate is funny. In that same Senate, Dino Melaye threatened to beat Senator Remi Tinubu while Saraki looked away. The activists of today lost their voice against such oppression, even though Tinubu has the capacity to undo Dino. He never said a word. He did not accompany her to the Senate. Today, I dare Dino to go to the villa and repeat his stunt. Lesson for Uduaghan, let the case proceed to trial. I think different folks, different strokes. You cannot paint everybody with the same brush. Like, people are different. This is just the way that their own family, this is just the way that Uduaghan thinks he can handle the situation, by showing support publicly for his wife. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with it. And the example that she made, Tinubu, while Dino Melaye threatened to beat up, Bola Ahmed Tinubu's wife, Remi Tinubu, when she was a senator, and he did not say a word. You don't know, you can never tell what kind of actions it took underground without coming out. Tinubu then was an ex-governor. Uduaghan is just a monarch. He's not into politics. So the two men are different. You cannot compare the two scenarios. You all, let's have your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. Thank you very much for always listening and watching, guys. I will see you all in my next video. Bye for now.